So I'm going to be talking a little bit about what is Xavvi. I hope by now everyone's had a chance to have a good look at the Xavvi pages, including the tech tab. If you've not, I recommend having a look at that because there's lots of information on there that we couldn't possibly cover and demo in today's presentation. The one thing I'd like to say up front is the videos that I am showing in today's presentation are concept videos. We're currently at varying stages of bringing these concepts to life, and we do have some live demos a little bit later in this presentation. Xavvi builds upon the power and flexibility of LiveCode to allow creators to build apps without code being the barrier to entry or the barrier to completion. Now, what I mean by that is Xavvi is a no-code tool without the restrictions of no-code. You can build powerful data-driven apps in Xavvi via a combination of AI, an easy-to-use cloud data store, beautiful widgets that bind to your data, point-and-click actions to create complex tasks such as creating records in your database or connecting to APIs to take a payment, and all without having to write a single line of code. So code is not the barrier to entry to build a powerful data-driven app in Xavvi. But when you need to do something unique, something custom, unlike other no-code tools, Xavvi is also not a barrier to completion. The powerful LiveCode English language is there for you. And with some of the new AI features in Xavvi, using that language is easier than ever. Now, if you've dabbled in LiveCode before, which I think many people here have, I think you'll really enjoy using it and you'll recognize a lot of parts of it. So there's still a widgets panel where you can drag widgets on to create a fantastic interface straight out of the box. And you still set properties to get your widgets looking and working just the way that you need to. You'll still find a message box that you can do exactly what you would do currently in LiveCode, but with the addition of AI, which I'll show a little bit later in this presentation. And you'll still have a script editor where you can write using the English LiveCode language, or you can let our actions editor write the script for you, or maybe a mixture of both, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as I go on. I'd like to introduce data binding. In Xavvi, we provide a point-and-click data store to take any hard work out of setting up a cloud data-driven app. You can set up a collection in Xavvi. Think of collections as a table in your database. You can create all of the fields in your collection, and then you're ready to start adding data to it. Binding your data to your user interface is a really big feature of Xavvi, and it's really easy to use. Let's take a look at what's involved in that, and I'll talk through the demo. So if you imagine that we already have our collection set up with data in it, we are going to drag out a widget off of our tools palette. And this would be the table widget, which looks great out of the box. We can set properties and so on. And right there within the property inspector, we can bind this table to a collection. And in this case, we're going to bind it to our footprint collection. And hey presto, our table widget is now in sync with our footprint collection. So any changes that we make to that collection will be shown in this table. Really, really neat feature in Xavvi. There's a bit more information on that on the tech tab on the website. Actions is another really big feature brought to Xavvi. Xavvi will come with a series of built-in actions that will continue to rapidly grow to meet the demand of our users. To see the actions Xavvi will be targeting first, check out the tech tab on the website. You can add a single action directly from the property inspector, which could be anything from navigating to a new page, creating a new record in your collection, or connecting to an API to show a strike dialog for taking a payment. Xavvi also brings an actions editor for when you require a sequence of actions or when your action needs to be conditional. The actions editor allows you to easily build your sequence of actions. Each time actions are created in Xavvi, Xavvi creates clean, readable script, which you don't have to do anything with, or you can use it to learn from and expand on that action, which I'll show a little bit later. I'm going to show the script a bit later on in the video, so I'll not leave it on the screen for too long. Now, AI. Xavvi brings AI, or Xavvi's AI makes building things so much easier, and I'd like to show you how we're planning to harness AI technologies in Xavvi. The first one I'd like to talk about is the AI interface builder, and I just want to talk through this video to give people an idea of what's happening. So if you in Xavvi, you've got options to create your app from a blank canvas, from a ready-made template, or you can just simply describe what it is that you want to build. Now, in this example, we're looking to create a searchable list with filters for displaying a list of available doctors and their areas of expertise. This is where the AI and Xavvi do their pieces of magic, and they produce a layout based on the widgets that Xavvi has. This is the layout that it's produced. There's always the option to kind of do another request. So if it didn't get it quite right, or change the theme and go ahead and start using that layout. So a really, really cool feature, and the early use of that as we put this together is very promising, and there's actually going to be a live demo on that in a few minutes' time. Another area I'd like to talk about with regards to AI is actions. So I've just kind of gave a little bit of look into our little overview of what actions are. But within Xavvi, you can build actions either by using our point-and-click actions editor, or you can describe it with AI. You can describe the sequence of events that you want to happen, and Xavvi will build actions based on the actions that Xavvi has in its actions library. So in this example, once the button is clicked, create a new record in the footprint collection, then send an email that includes the forms input to Stephen@Xavvi, then go to the reporting screen. Now I'm going to speed up this next part of the video just to go through it, but I shall pause it on this one just to explain what's happened. So we've generated a bunch of actions now based on that description. That English description has generated actions. So on click, create a record in the collection footprint, send email, and navigate to page reporting. Each of these sections has properties associated with them that you can go in and you can add to I guess customize it to whatever's needed. Let's carry on through with the video. So as I said earlier, each time actions are created, readable, clean LiveCode script is created alongside it. And as you can see here, Kevin kind of mentioned it at the start, it's very nice, clean, readable script, create record and collection, send as email to Stephen@Xavvi. It's really nice script that you can expand on, you can learn from, or you can completely ignore if you just don't want to do anything with code. The options are there. If we just let this video run through just to see what would happen once the action is created. So this is our form, these are individual fields, and the action is on the submit button. So we submit it, we go to a different card, our database is updated, and I receive a lovely email. Really, really cool. Really another exciting feature of Xavvi. Okay, now the message box. The AI message box is a really useful feature in Xavvi. It's a place where you can send a message instruction to your app in English and see it happen. It's also a place where you can ask questions and get answers back from our AI doc integration. This video hasn't been seen before, so let's have a little look at this just now. So we have our app and we go into the Xavvi message box and we activate the AI mode. We're going to send an instruction, and in this example, we're going to say we'd like to translate all the labels on my form and the button to French. This isn't LiveCode syntax, this is just me describing it in English, and hey presto, all of our labels and button has been changed to French. And we can also ask it questions. This is where the AI doc integration comes in. How can I send my form data to a Google Sheet, which is something that you might want to do with this particular app. You can send the form data to Google Sheet using the Xavvi Zapier action, and it gives a link to the doc on where you can find out more information about that. Again, really useful feature within Xavvi. Now, next up, I just want to talk a little bit about the AI scripted editor and how that harnesses AI. It does so in a few different ways, and I'll talk through each one individually just now. One of the really cool things I think about LiveCode, and I'm sure everybody that's dabbled in LiveCode before understands this, is that because the script is in English, you can often guess what the syntax should be, and you get it right. Well, certainly I do, but sometimes I also get it wrong. But what an AI feature that will be available in the script editor is if Xavvi can understand what you're trying to do, even though if you've not got it quite right, we can make a suggestion. So in this example, we've said make my submit button blue, which is it's not the correct syntax, it's just really an English sentence. And we've said, well, we think you mean this, set the background color of button 1 to blue, and you can go ahead and accept those changes. Useful to, I'm sure, seasoned coders of the LiveCode language, but also really useful to people that are new, that want to extend Xavvi with the LiveCode language. Now, another area which AI will be harnessed in the script editor is explaining scripts. So if you could imagine that either an action has been generated and you're perhaps new to LiveCode, you can highlight the script and get an explanation on that. Or let's say you found a piece of script in a forum somewhere that's for something custom that you would like to do. You paste it into LiveCode and you highlight it, and then you can get an explanation. Now, this example here is actually one that has been run through the AI. That I didn't write this explanation. That is actually the explanation that we got back. I'll not read through it all just now, but it's a really sort of kind of spot on explanation of that piece of script. Feel free to watch it back on the replay and pause it if you would like to read it all. And finally, with that same piece of script, let's say that we found on the forums, it's maybe quite close to what we want to do, but it's not exactly what we want to do. We can then select that script and request an edit to it. So in this particular example, please edit the script so that instead of looking at the field extension at checks.com.io.app extension for each domain, again, this is, although I'm presenting it as an image, this is actually something that we have run through the AI, and this is the script that we got back, which is really quite impressive. Now, another major part of Xavvi is all of the new widgets and connectors and things that are coming our way. What I thought I would do at this point is give you a little bit of a peek at some of the widgets that are far enough along so I can demo them, but for a full list of kind of all the widgets and API connectors that are coming, you could check the tech page on the website. But I'm going to open up just in the classic LiveCode just now. Okay, so I'm sure I could have done a better job at designing this, but I've piled lots of widgets on a page, and I'll talk you through a bunch of them just now. So we've got various things on here. We've got a nice little sort of tab menu. We've got a nice drop down, nice table here. New slider, all based on the sort of material design, nice checkbox. This is a field that will grow as you type, which is really neat. A nice drop-down field. Now, what I'd like to show you here is, because this be something that you would typically have to spend time scripting in LiveCode, is we have an email and password field, and I'm just going to type in Stephen hashtag dot nothing. So that's clearly an invalid email address. I realize it's maybe quite small on the screen, but it does have email validation. And that is simply done not by any script. It's basically just by changing the input type to email within the property inspector. So really neat. If I go ahead and change that to proper email address, we no longer have our error. Now again, with passwords, our password is hidden. But if I do this, we can see it. And again, that is all done just by setting properties to password. And I've turned on the I've turned on the trailing icon within the properties. So really quite neat. There's lots of other options within here. So there's password, multi-line, email, password, text area, number. Within the email, for example, we could have there's prefixes and suffixes that you can add also if you want to have anything either side of it. So there's lots of good work happening with the widgets just now. It's still very much under development, but all of these widgets that I'm showing here and are listed on the tech tab are included with the Xavvi extension pack.